Hook. Imagine a world where falling apples rewrite the universe, and a telescope pointed at the sky threatens an empire. This is the story of two men who changed reality forever. Intro for viewers. Welcome to a journey through time, where courage meets genius, and two great minds challenge the very rules of existence. Galileo Galilei and Sir Isaac Newton. Story setup. Create a cinematic, engaging narrative that follows. Galileo discovering truths the world refuses to accept. Newton building on those truths to define the laws of motion and gravity. How their ideas reshaped science forever. Tone. Dramatic, inspirational, fast-paced but clear. Short story outline inside the prompt. 1. Galileo, the rebel who looked up. Begin with Florence, Italy. Galileo as a curious boy dropping object from height. Show adult Galileo creating his telescope. He sees Jupiter's moons, proves Earth is not the center. Church opposition. Trial. Forced silence. Emotional moment. Galileo whispers. Eppa si muove. And yet it moves. Narration style. Tense, brave, emotional, showing conflict between truth and power. 2. The legacy crosses time. After Galileo's death, his writings travel across Europe. A young Isaac Newton finds them. Newton is fascinated. If the heavens follow rules, what are those rules? Narration style. Calm but filled with curiosity. 3. Newton, the man who defined the universe. Newton's childhood, quiet, observant, isolated. The falling apple scene. Presented not as a myth but as a moment of inspiration. Newton begins forming ideas of laws of motion, universal gravitation. Mathematics, calculus, show how he explains tides, planets, orbits with pure logic. Narration style. Cinematic, intellectual, awe-inspiring. 4. The laws that changed everything. Explain in simple narrative form. First law. Objects stay still or keep moving unless a force acts. Second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. Third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Law of universal gravitation. Every mass pulls every other mass. Show scenes of planets moving like dancers. Cannonball orbit. Thought experiment. Humanity beginning to understand the cosmos. 5. Final scene. Galileo and Newton's eternal impact. Narrator connects both men. Galileo opened the eyes of the world. Newton taught it how to think. Show space exploration, satellites, rockets end with powerful line. Because they dared to ask the questions others feared. Short story. Galileo, Newton, and the laws that changed everything. ***. Hook. Imagine a world where a single apple can rewrite the universe, and a simple telescope can threaten an empire. This is the story of two men who dared to challenge everything. Intro. Welcome to a journey through time, where courage meets genius, and two great minds shape the foundations of modern science. Galileo Galilei and Sir Isaac Newton. Story starts. 1. Galileo, the rebel who looked up. Florence, Italy. A young boy named Galileo stands on a tall tower, dropping two stones of different sizes. To everyone's surprise, they hit the ground at the same time. The boy smiles, curious, hungry to understand nature. Years later, that curiosity becomes a storm. Galileo builds a telescope, sharper and more powerful than anything his time has ever seen. One night, he turns it toward Jupiter and sees 4 small moons orbiting it. In that moment, the universe shifts. If Jupiter has moons, then Earth is not the center of creation. Galileo writes his findings, excited to share the truth. But truth was dangerous. The powerful church calls him a heretic. They demand silence. They demand obedience. In a dark, cold room, Galileo stands before his judges. They force him to deny what he saw. He whispers under his breath, "Eppa si muove." And yet, it moves. He returns home, old and tired, but his ideas begin to travel far beyond him. 2. A legacy that crosses time. Across Europe, in a quiet village in England, a young boy named Isaac Newton discovers Galileo's writings. He reads them not as words, but as sparks. Galileo had opened a doorway. Newton felt destined to walk through it. He spends hours alone, watching the sky, studying nature, asking questions others never dared to imagine. 3. Newton, the man who defined the universe. One summer day, as Newton sits under an apple tree, a fruit falls beside him. Not a miracle, not magic, just a simple apple. But to Newton, it is a message. If the apple falls, what holds the moon in its path? This question becomes his destiny. Days turn into nights, nights into months. Newton fills pages with mathematics, diagrams, and new ideas. He discovers 3 laws of motion. Objects stay still or keep moving unless something pushes them. Force equals mass times acceleration. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But his greatest discovery is far larger. Gravity. Not just the force that pulls the apple down, but the invisible thread that binds the planets, controls the tides, and shapes the cosmos. With one idea, Newton connects Earth to the heavens. The universe finally has rules. 4. The laws that changed everything. Planets no longer wander aimlessly. They dance in perfect mathematical harmony. The tides rise and fall as predictable as the heartbeat of the sea. Rockets, satellites, space travel, all of it becomes possible because 2 men dared to see the universe differently. Galileo showed us where to look. Newton showed us how it works. Together, they rewrote reality. Final scene. Picture a rocket lifting into space. Stars shimmer as humanity breaks free from the Earth. None of this would exist without a man who whispered the truth, and another who defined it. They asked the dangerous questions, and because of that, the universe finally answered. OUTRO. If you enjoyed this journey into the minds that changed our world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More powerful stories of science and discovery are coming your way to perform.